evening and welcome inside the GCU softball stadium on the campus of Grand Canyon University for some softball action as the Seattle Redhawks take on the Grand Canyon Antelopes in the rubber game of a three-game series here in Phoenix, Arizona. Jack O'Hara here with you alongside Montana Lambden as the Lopes look to take the final game of this series here on senior night as the Lopes look to tie the Redhawks for the lead in the WAC standings yet again.
Yeah, Jack, the implications of tonight's game here on senior night really couldn't get any bigger or weigh any heavier on the shoulders of the Lopes seniors, as tonight's 1-2 matchup against Seattle University is perhaps the biggest WAC conference game of the season. The Lopes have really showed what they are made of in past big games, like the time that they defeated the #1 team in the country, Florida State, earlier this year. I see Lopes rising to the challenge. The Smith sisters have had an incredible bond to each other into this program, and on this memorable night, look for something special from the twins. Taylor Kay just received the Roland Beck Award at the Lopies, which recognizes the top scholar athletes for athletics and academics. Maddie Dowdle won the Kevin and Gretton Postgraduate Scholarship, and she's receiving $10,000 for her postgraduate physical therapy degree. This will truly be a memorable night for these four strong aspects of the GCU softball team.
And we'll celebrate those four seniors during the postgame right after this one as the Lopes again looking to pick up the series win against the Redhawks. Ryan Denhart on the mound after throwing in Game 1 yesterday. 5 innings of work, only allowed 1 earned run as Lopes picked up the 10-1 victory in that game. Offense got going with Sierra Smith launching a 2-run home run. It was her 5th of the year, deep to right field. And we'll take a look at the 3 keys to the game today as the Lopes look to pick up that win today. Sanderson Ford, 3 keys to the game.
So the first key to the game tonight is going to be Seattle U later. The ladies are going out there tonight and should have intentions to just go out there, get things done, and see Seattle later. And the second key to the game is seniors send. This is the seniors' last home game, so let's really go out with a bang tonight and get that win. And then the last key to the game is the home game advantage. The Lopes have really taken advantage of playing at home this year. 22 of their 27 victories have been right here at the GCU softball field. Seattle, on the other hand, has only won 5 games on opponents' home turf, but the Redhawks have been 13-6 on neutral fields.
So we'll see if Ryan Denhart has more left in the tank after that 5-inning performance yesterday. We saw Yessie Morrison start in Game 2, only going 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 runs before Lexi Coons came on and pitched very well. 5 1/3 innings, she gave up 6 hits. Only walked 4 as the Lopes fell in that one 6-3. Bailey Thompson hitting a solo home run for the Redhawks in that 7th inning off Coons. So we'll see what the Lopes have in store here on senior night as you can see the starting lineups here in this one. We'll send it down to prayer and anthem in just a sec. Lineups pretty much the same for the Lopes and Seattle as well. You got Olivia Vigiano, Allie Choate, and Madison Cathcart leading things off in the first against Ryan Denhart. And yesterday, the story for Ryan Denhart was hitting her corners. She had that fastball on the outside corner working all night long, was basically her bread and butter through the first 5 innings of that game. Picked up a couple of strikeouts. So we'll see if she has the same exact game plan going up against right-hander Andy Larkins, who once again picked up that no-hitter here last weekend. And as we mentioned, the starting lineup for the Redhawks, you have Vigiano, Choate, and Cathcart leading things off in that first inning, 1, 2, 3 in the order. You have Bailey Thompson behind home plate. She'll hit cleanup. Kaylee Rees at second base. She hits 5th. Carly Nance, the designated player after pitching in Game 1 yesterday, she hits 6th. You have Cherise Silvan in left field hitting 7th with Brianna Timmons at shortstop. She hits 8th, and Matriotti is going to be at the hot corner at third base, and she's going to round out the batting order. She hits 9th. And as I was mentioning, Andy Larkins came in and got the save last night in the 7th inning after coming in for Cheyenne Smith, who pitched 5 innings of work last night, gave up 3 earned runs. The big blow to Savannah Torville, that 2-run home run off the left field foul pole in that 5th inning. That made it a 5-3 game. As the Lopes originally trailed 5-0 in that game, came back, but it wasn't enough as they fell 6-3. As we'll toss it down to the field for prayer and anthem here in Phoenix.
At this time, we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
So as we get ready for this one, let's take a look at Ryan Denhart's line. She has 10 wins coming into this one, picking up that 10th win like we mentioned in game 1 here last night. 10-4 in 97 and a third innings pitched. She's given up 85 hits, 30 earned runs, 21 walks, has picked up 52 strikeouts in the process, has only given up 19 extra base hits, including 4 home runs. And again, she'll deal with Vigiano, Cho, and Cathcart to lead things off here in the first. As Shea and Sierra Smith, as well as Maddie Dowdle and Taylor Kay, will play their final home game here at GCU Softball Stadium here on senior night. As the Lopes third baseman, Sierra Smith, has had quite the star-studded career. Her freshman year, played and started in all 50 of her games, had a .311 batting average, 52 hits in 167 at-bats, and she carried that over into her sophomore season in 2017, earning the All-WAC first-team honors while playing and starting all 54 games for the Lopes. Earned her second-team All-Region honors in the Western Region as a junior in 2018. And named to the All-WAC Tournament Team Conference, just to name a few accomplishments for the Lopes third baseman. And then Shea Smith, we saw her last night make a few Gold Glove-like plays at shortstop. She was named to the All-WAC second team as a freshman, playing in all 50 games, and then came into her sophomore year earning the All-WAC second team honors. Again, we'll get more into all 4 of those players' accomplishes later tonight as they get honored here immediately after this one. So it's the rubber match between the Lopes and the Redhawks. Lopes looking to even up the WAC standings at the top of the leaderboards with a win here tonight against the Redhawks. So Olivia Vigiano seems ready. Denhart is ready. Let's do it here on senior night. And the first pitch misses inside, and we are underway. So again, Ryan Denhart was masterful yesterday getting that fastball on the outside corner. As a home plate umpire tonight, Dale Wilson. After we saw both Eric Jones and Sandy Leak last night as that pitch hits the outside corner. Count moves to 1-1. Vigiano hitting .333. Still looking for her first home run of the spring. Does have 14 runs batted in with a .378 slugging percentage. As that off-speed pitch chopped to Smith, gloves it, throws across the diamond. A nice athletic play like we were mentioning in the pregame. Sierra Smith with a nice play to kick off the game here tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely just the way she wanted to start off her senior night.
Smith timing that play perfectly. Almost looked like it was going to bounce over her head with the chop off the bat of Vigiano. But nonetheless, Vigiano 0 for 1 in this one as Allie Choate digs in. Choate was a tough out for Ryan Denhart last night, going 3 for 3 against the Lopes right-hander. We'll see what she has in store here tonight as the first pitch misses inside, count 1-0. Choate picking up 1 hit in game 2 as well. Had the bases loaded and nobody out in the 4th inning of game 2 last night. Grounded in to a 3-2-3 double play. And as a 1-0 pitch, sliced foul to even up the count at a ball and a strike. Allie's hitting .412, which leads the Redhawks in batting average this season. 2 home runs, 25 runs batted in, a .523 slugging percentage. It also has great speed on the base paths. Sierra Smith in at the bag at third as well. As a 1-1 pitch misses outside, count moves to 2-1 on Choate. Madison Cathcart waiting on deck. We saw Cathcart pick up 3 RBIs last night. Picked up an RBI single in game 1 that tied the game in the 3rd inning at the time before the Lopes put up an 8 spot in that bottom of the 4th inning en route to that 5-inning win. That one chopped. It's going to be a tough play for Shea Smith. Doesn't get a handle on it. And Choate's going to reach first base with a base hit. Tough play for Shea Smith in the hole there at shortstop. Just couldn't hold on to it at the end.
First baseman, number 11, Madison Cathcart.
So with Choate on first and 1 out, that will bring up Madison Cathcart. Like we just mentioned, picked up 3 RBIs in last night's game, hitting .314. still leads the Redhawks in home runs with 11. We saw Bailey Thompson on deck in the cleanup spot. She now has 10, picked up that solo shot last night as that pitch is hooked foul. Cathcart barreled that one up, but hooks it just enough as the count moves to 0-1. Choate has 6 stolen bases on the season, only been caught twice. Kaylee Dietrich threw out a runner in game 2 last night as that pitch popped in the air, should be playable. Sierra Smith calls off Dietrich and foul ground, makes the play, and just like that, there's 2 away here in the first. So Denhart looking for the easygoing first inning as Bailey Thompson digs in, hitting .310. We mentioned that home run here last night. Has 10 on the season, 30 RBIs, has a .589 slugging percentage. That leads the Redhawks this season. And she looks to pass the baton over to Kaylee Rhee. Kaylee Rhee also picked up a 2-run double in game 2 last night. That came in the first inning as that first pitch misses low and outside, count 1-0. That pitch clips the inside corner as the count evens up at 1-1. Allie Cho will be looking to get a good jump over there at first base with 2 outs. We saw Seattle put up a 3-spot in inning number 1 in game 2. And then tacked on 2 more to take a quick 5-0 lead. And as we mentioned in the pregame, Lopes chipped away, battled back to cut it to 2 at 5-3 as that pitch is laced deep to left field. Going back is Nicoletti. It hits off the top of the wall. Rounding third base is Choate. She's going to score, and it's an RBI double for Bailey Thompson. She picks up her 31st run batted in of the spring, and just like that, it's 1-0 Seattle. That ball almost got out of here. Right off the Nike sign out there in left center field. As Choate scores all the way from first base to give the Redhawks a 1-0 advantage.
Yeah, that ball was definitely inches away from flying over the fence.
So with Thompson in scoring position, that's going to give Kaylee Rhee an opportunity to drive in a run. Rhee hitting .315 on the season. Denhart looking to limit the damage here as that pitch is just off the inside part of the plate. Count moves to 1-0. That pitch just off the outside corner. We saw Ryan Denhart get that call all night long last night. Dale Wilson not giving an inch early on in this one. So we'll see how Denhart adjusts here in the first inning as she delivers the 2-0 pitch. Goes with the off speed. Left up as the count moves to 3 balls and no strikes. So Rhee trying to reach first base here with Carly Nance, the left-handed bat, waiting on deck. We mentioned last night, Montana, 8 lefties in this batting order for Seattle.
Yeah, they're definitely a lefty-dominated team.
And they turn Thompson loose on 3-0. She fouls it off just over the Redhawks dugout. So Thompson turned loose here, given the green light. That one just in on her hands as the count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. So we'll definitely be swinging here on 3-1 if she gets her pitch to hit. Denhart not looking to give in to the left-handed bat. As the 3-1 pitch is blooped in the right field. That's going to dunk in for a base hit. Olsen's going to come up throwing. Here's the play at the plate, and standing up is Bailey Thompson as she comes around to score. It's a 2-0 lead for Seattle on the RBI single from Kaylee Rhee. So Rhee picks up her 26th run batted in of the spring. And just like we saw in game 2 last night, Seattle jumping on the Lopes early.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how things play out tonight, as last night in game 1, Lopes' bats really came alive, but in game 2, Seattle's bats really came alive. There's no telling what's really going to happen on the field tonight.
Here's the first pitch to Carly Nance, cut on and missed. Chases the high fastball there from Denhart, count 0-1. As we mentioned earlier, Ryan Denhart only giving up 1 run in 5 innings last night in that 10-1 Lopes win, trying to pick up her 11th win of the season. Sits at 10-4. That leads the Lopes. As that pitch misses outside, count evens up at a ball and a strike. Nance threw in game 1 for the Red Hawks last night. Got roughed up in that 4th inning. 8 runs on 8 hits for the Lopes. As a 1-1 pitch, misses outside, count moves to 2-1. Nance actually retired the first 5 Lopes that she faced in that game. Second and third time through the order, the Lopes figured out Nance and opened up the floodgates in that game en route to a 9 lead win as Nance drills that one to deep right. Sayonara, a long home run for Carly Nance. She picks up her 5th home run of the spring. Now has 23 runs batted in, and just like that, the Red Hawks are out to a 4-0 lead here in the top of the 1st inning. And that's going to be it for Ryan Denhart through 5 innings last night. Goes 2/3 of an inning here tonight, giving up 4 earned runs on 3 hits. All 4 runs coming with 2 outs here in the 1st inning for the Red Hawks. There are 2 outs, and Allie Choate on first base when Bailey Thompson hit the RBI double off the top of the left field wall. Kaylee Ree passing the baton to Nance with the RBI single, and Nance clobbering that pitch over the right field wall to make this a 4-0 game early on in favor of the Red Hawks. And Brianna Aguilar, who we saw in that 7th inning last night, is going to take the circle here, looking to end things here in the top of the 1st inning. Coming into this one 5-5, 2 saves on the season, 70 innings pitched. She's allowed 73 hits, 27 earned runs, has only walked 15 and has struck out 39. So a good strikeout to walk ratio for the Lopes right-hander as she looks to retire Cherise Sylvan due up for the Red Hawks to salvage the final out here in the top of the 1st inning.
For GCU, number 17, Brianna.
And Andy Larkins, who picked up the save last night, we mentioned picked up the 5th no-hitter in Seattle's history last weekend against Bakersfield at home. It's going to be a tough task ahead for the Lopes offense in this one, already down by 4. As that pitch misses outside, count 1-0 on Sylvan. Sylvan hitting .321 on the season. Also still looking for her 1st home run as she has 16 runs batted in. So that pitch misses. Count moves to 2-0. Sullivan thought about laying down a bunt, holds back as the pitch is low in the dirt, and the count is 3-0. So Aguilar looking to pick up a strike here with Brianna Timmons lurking on deck, hitting .333 on the season. Picked up a couple of hits last night. Has a 3-0 delivery. Plates the corner, and the count moves to 3-1. Good pitch there from Aguilar. As we saw, Kaylee Ree turned loose on 3-0, just 2 at-bats ago. We'll see what she gives here on 3-1. Goes with the fastball, and Sylvan fouls it straight back to even up the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So after falling behind 3-0, Aguilar battles back.
I know this isn't the start that the Lopes were looking for, but I definitely think that they can make a comeback tonight.
Here's the payoff pitch from Aguilar. Rocket to third, Smith has it, Fields throws across the diamond. It's not going to be in time as the speedy Sylvan beats it out for an infield base hit. Tough play for Smith there after bobbling it for a second. Would have been a tough play regardless. Sylvan hit it hard. But definitely would have been a tough play to nab Sylvan if it wasn't fielded cleanly there by Smith. That'll bring up Brianna Timmons, the 8th hitter in the Red Hawks order. So the Red Hawks, who had 2 outs in this inning with a runner on first base with Bailey Thompson at the plate are one batter away from batting around here in the top of the first. Oh, 1 pitch, misses outside. Dietrich paying close attention to Sylvan on first base. Does have 7 stolen bases this spring, has only been caught 3 times. One pitch, scorched foul into the Lopes dugout as the count moves to 1-2. So Aguilar doing a nice job getting ahead of Timmons after falling behind 3-0 on Sylvan, looking again to salvage that final out here in the first. It'll be Nicoletti, Smith, and Torville for the Lopes against Andy Larkins in the bottom half of the inning, as that pitch is spoiled foul on the left side, so we'll do it again at 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch, outside, throw down to second, not nearly in time. Bobbled there by Dietrich for a second, had no chance of getting Sylvan after that, so Cherise Sylvan picks up her 8th stolen base of the spring. Now has 8 stolen bases in 11 attempts. Now Brianna Timmons will look to drive in the 5th run of the inning for Seattle if she can put the ball in play here. 2-2 pitch coming from Aguilar. Goes with the inside fastball, just misses, and the count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Aguilar looks in for the sign from Dietrich. We'll see what she offers here on this payoff pitch. Grounded softly to short. Smith throws on to Olsen for the final out of the inning, but not before Seattle puts up 4 runs on 3 hits. The big blow, the long 2-run home run from Carly Nance, her 5th of the year over the right field wall. We head to the bottom of the first inning at Seattle 4, and the Lopes coming to bat.
Get the best gear to show off your Lope pride. Go to lopeshops.gcu.edu to find everything GCU, from the newest apparel to the coolest accessories. Use promo code GCUTV25 to get 25% off for being a GCU TV viewer. Let's paint the Valley purple. Lopes up.
So as you mentioned earlier, Montana, not the start that the Lopes envisioned here on senior night, their final home game of the regular season before the WAC tournament takes place on May 8th. The Lopes do have a road series coming up this week in Kansas City against the Roos. But a 4 spot for Seattle in this one as they look to take a 2-game lead in the WAC standings. They currently are up by 1 game, lost that lead in game 1 after that 10-1 loss last night, but quickly reclaimed it with their 6-3 victory. Cheyenne Smith picking up her 7th win in that game. And it's going to be the right-hander Andy Larkins who picked up the save in that game. Coming on and recording a 1-2-3 7th inning. Has a 10-3 overall record. Picked up that 1 save here last night. In 90 innings of work, she's only allowed 32 earned runs. Has walked 37 while picking up 58 strikeouts. She has given up 7 home runs, though. As the Lopes will be looking for a big blow here in this first inning to get right back in it. So Gianna Nicoletti will dig in. Nicoletti hitting .219. You can't say anything bad about the defense from Gianna Nicoletti last night, throwing out 2 base runners, 1 at home plate and 1 at third base, and made a sliding catch in game 1 in the first inning with runners on first and second and nobody out, helping out Ryan Denhart. As she squares the bunt on that pitch, misses, count 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch through the hole and in to left center field for a base hit. So just what the Lopes needed to kick off this first inning. Gianna Nicoletti finds the hole, past Brianna Simmons for a base hit. And we got a runner on first base with nobody out.
When you look at the WAC team leaderboards, GCU leads in 3 categories, which are batting average with a .323, slugging percentage with a .449, and on-base percentage.
So with Nicoletti on first base, Shea Smith will dig in. Takes a first pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Shea picked up 2 key hits last night, singling in the 3rd inning, coming around to score on Savannah Torville's sac fly in game 1. That gave the Lopes a 2-1 lead at the time. That pitch misses outside, count 2-0. And then picking up a big 2-run single, a part of that 8-run 4th inning en route to that 10-1 win last night. Picked up a single in game 2 as well. That came in the 3rd inning. As a 2-0 pitch, chopped over the head of Cathcart and into right field. Going from first to third is Nicoletti, and just like that, the Lopes are in business. Runners on the corners and nobody out after back-to-back singles from Nicoletti and Smith. It's a tough play over there at first base for Madison Cathcart as the ball just barely gets over her glove and over her head and trickled into right field. Easy play there for Nicoletti to go from first to third with her speed. So with runners on the corner, Savannah Torville, who again launched that 2-run home run last night, will look to get the Lopes right back in this game as Bailey Thompson wants to talk things over with Larkins before this at-bat. Not the start that Larkins envisioned either, getting ahead quickly in the count to Nicoletti. Nicoletti grounding that one right past Timmons. Into left center field, and Shea Smith getting that Baltimore-like chop over the head of Cathcart and into right field for a base hit. So Torville comes into this at-bat hitting .328. Picked up that 7th home run of the year last night. As that pitch misses outside, count 1-0. Has 34 runs batted in. Picked up 3 overall RBIs last night. As Larkins delivers the 1-0 pitch, taps slowly back to the circle. Moving to second is Smith. As Larkins will go with the easy play at first base for the out. So Nicoletti will stay at third as Smith moves to second. Runners on second and third now with 1 away. And that'll bring up Kaylee Holland.
Number 12, Kaylee Holland.
Savannah Torville way out in front of that off-speed pitch from Larkins, tapping it slowly back to the mound. Does move Shea into scoring position, as Holland will look to drive in a pair here. First pitch misses outside, count moves to 1-0. Kaylee hitting .260 on the season, 3 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Infield is in for the Red Hawks. As a 1-0 pitch, misses up and the count moves to 2-0. So we saw Larkins get ahead of Nicoletti in the first at-bat, has quickly fallen behind these past 3 hitters. Fell behind 2-0 to Shea Smith before the single into right. As she delivers a 2-0 to Holland. Pitch tapped into shallow right field. That ball's going to find some grass. Coming home to score is Nicoletti. She comes in standing. It's an RBI single for Kaylee Holland. Picks up her 15th run of the spring. And the Lopes are going to bring the tying run to the plate as it's now a 4-1 ball game. So perfect placement there for Kaylee Holland, dunking that one into shallow right field with the infield in. Allie Choate battling the sun out there as well as she had to come in and make that play on a hop. Smith had to wait to see if the ball dropped as well, so she can only advance 1 base. So with runners on the corners, Sierra Smith's going to dig in, takes a strike on the outside corner, count 0-1. Sierra with a big game 1, picking up 3 hits, that tape measure 2-run home run in that 4th inning. Coming off of Carly Nance is the tying run here in the first. As the 0-1 pitch, tapped, grabbed there by Cathcart, flips to first for the out. As Shea Smith will score, so Sierra Smith picks up her 17th run batted in on the grounder. And the Lopes have cut the Red Hawks lead in half. It's 4-2. So a very similar hit ball that we saw with Shea Smith. That one getting over the head of Cathcart. Cathcart able to jump and make that play before it trickled into right field and flipped on to Ree for the second out. So Kaylee Dietrich will come up as the tying run here in the first with a runner on second base. Swings and fouls that pitch straight back, count 0-1. So plenty of action so far here in inning number 1 on senior night for both the Redhawks and the Lopes. Redhawks with 4 runs on 3 hits in that first inning. So far the Lopes with 2 runs on 3 hits. As Holland looks to get a good jump off of second. 0-1 pitch to Dietrich, cut on and missed. Nice pitch there from Larkins. As she mixes things up, goes with the off speed on 0-1. And is quickly ahead in the count now 0-2. Dietrich just looking to try to put the ball in play here on 0-2. Gets the fastball in, fouls it off, so we'll do it again.
Yeah, things tonight are not going to be easy for either team, as this is a really highly competitive matchup. They're both battling for that number 1 spot in the WAC standings.
0-2 pitch again, as that pitch is a called strike 3. Dietrich tried to hold her swing. It was a called third strike from the home plate umpire Dale Wilson, and that'll do it. So the Lopes will leave 1 runner in scoring position, but not before they score 2 runs on 3 hits. Let's head to inning number 2 here in Phoenix. It's Seattle 4 and the Lopes 2. You're watching GCU softball here on GCU TV.
I will always be with you, my friend. I will be with you until the end. I will always be there when you fall and help you when you need it most of all.
When my hot water heater failed, she was pregnant. In-laws were coming, a little bit of water, it rocked our world.
I had no idea the amount of damage that water could do.
We called USAA, and they greeted me as they always do. Sergeant Baker, how are you? They were on it. It was unbelievable. Having insurance is something everyone needs, but having USAA, that's a privilege. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
USAA. Get your insurance quote today.
Let's move to the top of the second inning here on GCU TV. The Lopes cutting Seattle's lead in half in the bottom of the first inning. Now a 4-2 ball game, as it will be the 9-1 and 2 hitters for the Redhawks, starting with Allison Matriotti, the third baseman for the Redhawks. And as the first pitch, tapped foul, count 0-1. Matriotti hitting .232. And has 4 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Brianna Aguilar taking over for Ryan Denhart, who only threw 2/3 of an inning here tonight after throwing 5 last night in Game 1. Bobo's only thrown 13 pitches thus far, as that pitch misses low and outside. Count 1-1 on Matriotti.
The Lopes did exactly what they needed to do, striking back for a couple runs, shifting some of that first inning momentum back to GCU. This looks like it's really going to be an action-packed night.
So that pitch misses inside, count 2-1. Definitely an action-packed first inning with 6 runs combined. And far from over in this one, as we're only in the top of the second inning. So it'll be a 2-1 pitch from Bobo, as it's ripped right to Smith at third. And there's one away. Little to no reaction time for Sierra Smith, able to glove that one for the slick putout, and we have one away here as we turn things over to the top of the order for Seattle, with Olivia Vigiano taking in for her second plate appearance. Vigiano 0 for 1 in this one, grounded out to Smith to lead off the ball game in the first. Takes a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike, count 0-1. Vigiano got on base a few times last night. Great speed on the base paths, as Vigiano and Choate both showing off their speed in last night's game with a couple of stolen bases. As that pitch is slowly chopped, going to be a tough play for Smith. As she's not going to be able to field it cleanly, and Vigiano will reach with the infield single. We mentioned that speed for Seattle. The Lopes have little to no reaction time trying to get that ball out of their glove and into the glove of Taylor Olson over there at first base. We've seen on a few instances so far here tonight for both Shea and Sierra. As the first pitch misses outside to Choate, count 1-0. Choate's also 0 for 1 in this one. Reached on an E6 back in the first inning. Lopes committing 2 errors to kick off the game in that first inning. 1-0 pitch, paints the corner, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. We'll see what Vigiano does at first base. We mentioned that great speed. Has 20 stolen bases this spring. That hit hard to short. Smith to Torville. She's not going to be able to turn it. So the Lopes get the force out at second base as Vigiano will head back to the dugout. A fielder's choice for Choate. And there's 2 away here in the second. That ball was hit hard enough for Smith to turn it. But again, Choate with the great speed like we've been mentioning all night long. Able to beat that one out easily. No throw from Torville on the back end. They get the speedy Vigiano nonetheless. As Madison Cathcart digs in, hits that one sharply to short. Smith can't handle it as it trickles into center field. And Seattle's got something cooking here in the second. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. So tough hop there for Shea Smith. As Bailey Thompson has a chance to regain that 4-run lead that Seattle had in the first inning. Picked up that RBI double off the top of the left field wall to give Seattle a 1-0 lead in that first inning. Takes a fastball in the inside corner here, count 0-1.
Thompson is the only right-handed batter on Seattle's entire lineup, which is definitely very interesting.
0-1 offering from Bobo. Goes outside and gets the call from the home plate umpire, Dale Wilson, and the count's 0-2. So Bobo doing a nice job coming inside with that first pitch and countering with the outside fastball to get ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes here on Thompson. So Choate leads off second, Cathcart off first. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Thompson. That pitch just a little too far outside as the count moves to 1-2. Bobo trying to get the right-handed bat to chase here with 2 strikes. There's plenty of room to work with up in the count 1-2. As Aguilar gets a sign from Dietrich, here's the 1-2 delivery to Bailey Thompson. Tries to go off speed. That pitch left up in the zone. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Dietrich wants to talk things over with a right-hander before this next pitch. Just trying to get on the same page. That last pitch looked like it got away from Bobo just a bit. We saw Cheyenne Smith in last night's game through the first 4 innings, dominating the Lopes order, coming inside and then up for the first 2 pitches to get ahead in the count 0-2 and 1-2. As the 2-2 pitch comes inside on Thompson, fights it off to stay alive, and we'll do it again at 2-2. Sun playing less of a factor here tonight than it did last night in game 1 of the doubleheader. Started an hour earlier at 5 o'clock. This one's starting at 6 o'clock. As the 2-2 pitch to Thompson, inside, just a little too inside there. As the count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes now, so Choate and Cathcart both looking to get good jumps out there on the base paths. as a ball in the gap could potentially score 2 runs and give Seattle that 4-run lead back. And looking ahead to the bottom of the second inning, you have Dowdle, Taylor Olson, and Lorianne Olson. As that pitch is fouled off. Right off of Jeff Hirai, the head coach for Seattle. As he laughs it off with Thompson. Never a good feeling down there for a head coach down in that third base box.
Looks like it hit him right in the thigh.
Now he's ready to go. He's laughing it off. As it'll be a 3-2 pitch. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Cut on and missed. Aguilar fooling Thompson with the off-speed pitch as it's foul tipped into the glove of Dietrich for the final out of the inning. So Seattle leaves 2 on as Aguilar gets herself into and out of trouble. Let's move to the bottom of the second here in Phoenix. 4-2 Seattle.
Welcome to the big leagues. The Grand Canyon Beverage Company has just launched a 16-ounce can of their popular energy drink, Stampede. Keep up with the herd and head to GCBC to get yours.
So Aguilar able to salvage that final out on the strikeout of Thompson, leaving 2 runners on base. As the Lopes will look to even up the score here in the bottom of the second against Andy Larkins, who gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in inning number 1. Sierra Smith getting the Lopes on the board with a grounder on the right side, scoring Shea Smith.
Bobo did a nice job of finding a way to hang a 0 against the Red Hawks. Let's see if the Lopes offense can continue to do so.
And like we mentioned last inning, it will be Dowdle, Taylor Olson, and Lorianne Olson. We saw Maddie Dowdle pick up a big hit here last night. Cheyenne Smith, like I mentioned, was rolling in that game until the bottom of the third inning, retired the first 6 Lopes hitters before Maddie Dowdle ripped a double off the left field wall. 2-2 pitch left over the heart of the zone, and Dowdle did not miss it. So we'll see if she gets her pitch to hit in this at-bat. Average up to 282 after last night. Has 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in. As he squares to bunt early, pulls back, takes a fastball on the outside corner, the count's 0-1. And we were talking a little bit about the Smith sisters earlier on, their 4-year stats here at GCU. As a freshman in 2016, Maddie Dowdle played in 48 of the 50 games in left field and had a .331 batting average. As she taps that one on the right side, going to be a tough play, but over there is Kaylee Ree after the diving stab from Cathcart. It was off the glove of Cathcart. Ree able to make the play, heads up play from the Red Hawks second baseman for the first out. So almost looked like Dowdle was going to reach there before Kaylee Ree picked up the ball and ran it over to first base herself for the first out. It's got to be scored a 3-4 put out. So with 1 away, that'll bring up Taylor Olson. Takes the first pitch low for a ball, 1-0. Olson hitting .272 with a homer and 11 runs batted in. Picked up an RBI in last night's game. As a 1-0 pitch, cut on and missed. Larkins pulling out that off-speed pitch to even up the count at a ball and a strike. And we saw Andy Larkins throw a steady diet of fastballs in last night's game before the final batter that she faced broke out that off-speed pitch with 1 strike in that final at-bat. We've seen it a few times here tonight as that pitch is left up and inside. Count moves to 2-1. And that's a 2-1 pitch, just off the outside corner, and the count moves to 3-1. Close take there from Olson, as Dale Wilson does not give Larkins the benefit of the doubt. So on a 3-1 pitch here, Olsen looking for a pitch to drive with her team down by 2. 3-1 pitch ripped into right center field. That ball's going to get all the way to the wall. Splitting in between Choate and Vigiano. It's going to be a stand-up double for Olsen. And the Lopes have a runner in scoring position. So a nice piece of hitting there from Taylor Olsen on 3-1, looking for a pitch to drive. Got a pitch over the heart of the plate on the outside corner. Waited back and drove it the other way for a double. So Lorianne Olsen digging in, will look to drive in Taylor Olsen over there at second base. We saw Lorianne Olsen pick up an RBI as a part of that 8-run fourth inning in game 1 yesterday against Carly Nance. Looking for another RBI right now. She taps that one slowly in front of the mound. It's going to be called a foul ball by the home plate umpire Wilson. Brianna Thompson tried to make that play as quickly as possible to nab Olsen before it was called foul.
Lopes are definitely on their A-game tonight.
Lorianne just hitting .213 on the season, but has come up in some big spots as that pitch is fouled straight back and the count is quickly no balls and 2 strikes. And we saw that off-speed pitch fool Taylor Olsen in that last at-bat before she worked the count to 3-1. We'll see if Larkins goes with the off-speed here on 0-2 to Olsen. Trying to get her to chase a pitch low in the zone. Goes with the fastball low, doesn't get Olsen to chase. Count moves to 1-2. Gianna Nicoletti on deck, singled in that first inning, came around to score. As it'll be a 1-2 pitch. On the outside corner, just misses again, and the count moves to 2-2. So a good take there from Lorianne Olsen, able to even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larkin again wanted that pitch from the home plate umpire, doesn't get it. So she tried to nab the corner on 1-2. We'll see what she does here on 2-2. Sets up outside, goes back with the fastball on the outside corner. Thought about going to third on that play, but goes with the easy out at first base to retire Olsen. Taylor Olsen able to make it over to third base on the play, so with 2 away and a runner on third base. Will bring us back to the top of the order for the Lopes with Gianna Nicoletti trying to drive in Olsen from third.
Number 24, Gianna Nicoletti.
Matriotti in at the bag at third. As Nicoletti swings at the first pitch, fouls it off, count moves to 0-1. Larkins really thought about making that throw over to third base to nab Taylor Olsen before taking the easy out at first base for Lorianne Olsen. Could potentially put runners on the corner for the Lopes if Larkin couldn't make the throw in time. So making the easy decision to go to first base there. As again, Larkin wanting the call from the home plate umpire. Does not get the call on the outside corner. And we saw that outside corner work in Ryan Denhart's favor in game 1 last night. We saw Cheyenne Smith painting in the inside corner for the Redhawks. Andy Larkins looking to find her zone so far here tonight, has already given up 2 earned runs as that pitch misses low in the zone. Count moves to 2-1. Gianna only has 2 RBIs this season, looking for number 3 right here, right now, to try and cut the deficit to 1. As a 2-1 pitch, chopped slowly, going to be a tough play for Matriotti. Fields, fires, and nabs Nicoletti for the final out of the inning. A nice play there from the Redhawks third baseman to end the frame as the Lopes leave a runner in scoring position. Let's head to the third here in Phoenix. You're watching GCU softball here on GCU TV.
Some nachos, or even some of that great smelling
We needed one one more member on our roster. Streets of New York is proud to announce Grand Canyon University to our winning team. We are now the official pizza of GCU. Go Lopes.
Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable, and nonprofit. Visit gcu.edu.
Let's move to inning number 3 here on GCU TV. Lopes leave a runner on third base in the bottom of the second. As it'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the order for the Seattle Redhawks. Kaylee Rhee leading things off against Bobo, who had a solid top of the second inning, getting herself into and out of trouble, leaving runners on first and second. Kaylee Rhee picking up that RBI single over the head of Taylor Olson and into right field. Scoring Bailey Thompson in the first inning. That made it 2-0 Seattle as she squares the bunt there, fouls it straight back, and the count's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Looking for a drag bunt there, trying to get on base here to start the inning. Carly Nance on deck launched that 2-run home run way over the right field wall. Give Seattle a 4-0 lead in that first inning. 0-2 pitch into left field. Smith handles it, but it's going to be a tough play in the hole there at shortstop, so it's going to be an infield base hit for Rhee. She's now 2 for 2. And a leadoff base runner yet again for the Redhawks. It's perfectly placed by the Redhawks left-handed bat there, as nothing Sierra Smith can do on that play over her head, as Shea Smith had no chance at throwing out the speedy Rhee in the hole. So after the infield base hit, Carly Nance digs in for her second at-bat, takes a ball on the outside corner, count 1-0. Nance launching her 5th home run of the year. Last go-around now has 23 RBIs on the season. As a 1-0 pitch, paints the corner, and the count moves to 1-1.
Let's see if Bobo can keep this game close.
And Bobo painting the corner on that last pitch. Andy Larkins hasn't quite got the benefit of the doubt from Dale Wilson just yet, trying to hit that outside corner as that pitch is cut on and missed. And the count moves to 1-2. Nance raising her batting average to 281 with that 2-run shot in the first. Kaylee Rhee with speed over there at first base. Only has 2 stolen bases on the season. As a 1-2 pitch. Hit hard to third. Smith has it. Throws to Torville. On to first. Not in time to nab Nance for the double play. But they get the force out. Another nice play there for Sierra Smith on the backhand. Throwing over to Torville, who made the nice stop. So with 1 out and a runner on first base, and it looks like Jeff Hirai wants to have a chat with Eric Jones over there at second base. Seems satisfied with the explanation from Jones. So a runner on first base and 1 out now. As it'll be Charisse Silva digging in second go around for the Redhawks left fielder. 0 for 1 in this one, averaged down to 318 after reaching on the E5 in the first inning. Swings at that one, pokes it out into center field for a base hit. Moving from first to second is Nance. And for the 3rd inning in a row, Seattle is in business with runners on first and second and 1 out. So we'll see if Bobo can get herself into and out of trouble for the 2nd consecutive inning. Put runners on first and second last time around. Was able to get herself out of the jam, as Brianna Timmons, who's already 0 for 1 in this game, will step in. First pitch to Timmons, paints the corner, on the inner heart of the plate as the count moves to 0-1. So Bobo doing a nice job finding her spots in this one, not really giving anything over the heart of the plate here to these Redhawks hitters since entering the game. Has yet to allow a run. As that pitch is cut on, taps slowly, Smith has it, steps on the bag at third base, but it's going to be called foul by the home plate umpire, Dale Wilson. So the runners will move back. Timmons will head back to the plate.
A double play would definitely be nice here.
Smith stepped on the bag at third base. I don't know if she would have had enough to get Timmons at first base. Softly hit down the third base line. But nonetheless, it'll be an 0-2 count on Timmons. As Aguilar delivers up the middle. Torville has it, steps on the bag for one, throw to first. Not in time to get the speedy Timmons. So the Lopes with a few chances to turn two in this inning. The speedy Redhawks preventing both of them here in the third as we have runners on first and third now with 2 outs. With Allison Matriotti digging in. So Aguilar, an out away from getting herself out of another jam in this one, has now thrown in 2 innings, only giving up 3 hits. She has picked up 1 strikeout. This will be her 40th pitch coming up to Matriotti. And as the first pitch misses up, count 1-0. So Nance is on third, Timmons on first. It'll be interesting to see if Timmons takes off here, trying to eliminate the force play at second base on a potential ground ball. Has not attempted a stolen base yet this season, so not likely. As the 1-0 pitch drops in there low for a ball, count moves to 2-0. Good take there from Matriotti. Matriotti lined out to Sierra Smith at third base back in the second inning. Now she taps that one slowly to Olsen, fields it, steps on the bag for the final out, and Bobo works herself into and out of trouble for the second inning in a row. So let's move to the bottom half of the third inning. Still a 4-2 Seattle lead as the Lopes look to even up the score here at home on senior night.
The Lopes are getting ready for basketball season, and this is a year that you don't want to miss. Basketball season tickets go on sale June 3rd, but you can join the wait list now to be first in line. Lock in your season tickets now and get on the wait list by going to gculopes.com/tickets.
Definitely never early to go get your basketball tickets here.
Jack, have you ever been to a basketball game here at GCU?
I think everybody's been to at least one basketball game here at GCU.
The basketball games are definitely an experience like no other. Being in the student section is so much fun.
And before you know it, Midnight Madness will be right around the corner. Still got ways to go here on this senior night for the Lopes as they trail this one 4-2. Andy Larkins giving up 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. Only gave up 1 hit in the second as the Lopes left a runner stranded on third base. As she will deal with the heart of the order, Shea Smith, Savannah Torville, and Kaylee Holland if anyone gets on. Sierra Smith will get to take a hack against Larkins. We saw Shea punch that single into right field in her last at-bat, moving Gianna Nicoletti over from first to third. It was a tough hop there for Cathcart at first base as it bounced right over her head and into right field. But Shea now with 4 hits this weekend in this series. Again, the Lopes trying to even up with the Redhawks on the leaderboard, trail by 1 game in the WAC standings after last night's Game 2 loss. Smith still leading the Lopes in batting average at .389. With 4 games left in the regular season, trying to go on a bit of a hot streak here to get that average back over 400 as that pitch is tapped slowly. Count moves to 1-1. Larkins has only thrown 33 pitches through 2 official innings. We mentioned the extra base hits. It's allowed 19 extra base hits, 18 coming into this game, allowed that double here last inning. Smith is going to try and reach base with a bunt single. She's going to be nabbed out at first base. Strong throw there from Larkins as Smith will head back to the dugout. Nice thought there from Shea Smith, unable to beat out the throw from Larkin, so there's one away. And that'll bring up Savannah Torville, already 0 for 1 in this game. Average down to 325. As the first pitch taken low for a ball. 1-0. We mentioned that 2-run home run here last night off the very top of the left field pole out there in left field. It was a skyscraper for the Lopes freshman second baseman. As she's quickly ahead in this count, 2 balls and no strikes. She hit that home run on a 3-1 pitch on the inner part of the plate against Cheyenne Smith. We mentioned all night last night, Cheyenne Smith really trying to hit that inside corner, and she did perfectly in the first 4 innings. So that pitch is cut on and missed. For strike 1, count moves to 2-1. Torville just a little bit too early on that swing. Larkin goes with the off speed away.
A home run really would be great right now for the Lopes.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball on the corner, called strike 2, and the count moves to 2-2. So Andy Larkin's doing a nice job battling back after falling behind 2-0, goes with the off-speed away to get Torville swinging. Torville thinking fastball on 2-0, didn't get it, way ahead in that pitch, and then Larkins comes back with the fastball on the corner to even up the count. 2-2 pitch, goes with the fastball in and gets Torville to swing and miss for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down for the Red Hawks right-hander. And that'll bring up Kaylee Holland.
Number 12, Kaylee Holland.
Holland waiting back, picking up an RBI single into right field in her last at-bat to score the second run in that first inning. Takes a fastball outside, count 1-0. We mentioned the 1 extra base hit given up by Andy Larkins. That was to Taylor Olson. 3-1 fastball taken the other way into the right center field gap back in the second inning on this one. She would be left stranded on third base, as that fastball just misses inside, and the count moves to 2-0. Larkins talking things over with Bailey Thompson, trying to get on the same page here as she delivers the 2-0 pitch to Holland. Gets the call on the outside corner, and the count moves to 2-1. Two-1 pitch, ripped to short. Timmons has it, throws on to first for the 6-3 putout, and that'll do it. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Andy Larkins. Let's move to the top of the 4th here in Phoenix. It's a 4-2 Seattle lead here on senior night for the Lopes. You're watching GCU softball here on GCU TV.
Across the painted desert to where the mountains touch the sky. This is Sanderson Ford country, where Arizona's pride. Sanderson Ford country, built on serving you. Sanderson Ford, satisfaction in everything we do. We're Arizona's pride. Sanderson Ford.
I came to college to play my sport, but more importantly, to earn a degree.
I'm constantly learning from those around me, my professors and peers, my coaches and teammates, and even my opponents.
There's nothing better than game day, battling side by side with my teammates.
The competition is what pushes me to be the best that I can be.
I take pride in my community and want to ensure that I am giving back and inspiring the next generation to do the same.
Let's move to inning number 4 here in Phoenix, Arizona. Still a 4-2 lead for the Redhawks as it'll be the third go-around in the top of the order as Olivia Vigiano digs in against Bobo, who through 2 1/3 innings pitch has yet to allow a run in this game. Gets Vigiano to foul that first pitch off. Count 0-1, so it'll be Vigiano, Choate, and Cathcart. Third go-around in the order for the Redhawks. Second go-around against Brianna Aguilar. Like I mentioned, 2 1/3 innings pitched, has only allowed 3 hits thus far. Has been able to get herself out of trouble these past 2 innings as that pitch misses low and away. Count moves to 1-1. Vigiano 1 for 2 in this one, picked up a single in the hole at shortstop back in the second inning. Grounded out to Sierra Smith to lead off the ball game. As that pitch is hit to Smith once again as she throws across the diamond for the 5-3 putout. And there is quickly one away here in the 4th with Allie Choate digging in. It's a dangerous part of the order for the Redhawks with both Vigiano and Choate. We mentioned the great speed. Vigiano has yet to be caught stealing this year. Choate has only been caught stealing twice so far this spring. Lopes not even retiring Choate until game 2 last night after picking up 3 hits in game 1. 0 for 2 already tonight. Reached on an E6 back in the first. Came around to score on the RBI double from Bailey Thompson and grounded out into a fielder's choice back into her last at-bat in the second inning. As a 1-0 pitch, rocketed past Smith's glove and down the left field line. Nicoletti fields it, throws it into Smith. It's going to be a stand-up double for Choate. Picks up her 5th hit in the series, and Seattle has another runner in scoring position with 1 out. That ball just whistling past the glove of Sierra Smith. May have gotten her glove up in time, does not make contact with her glove as it was rifled down that left field line for Choate. Gianna Nicoletti doing a nice job getting that in before Choate could round second base. So we'll see if Cathcart can drive in the runner in scoring position. We saw 3 RBIs last night. And as the first pitch misses up, count 1-0. Cathcart's 0 for 2 in this one. Flied out in the first inning, reached on an E6 back in the second, hit a hard ground ball, tough hop for Shea Smith in that last at-bat. As the 1-0 pitch, ripped up the middle, that's going to find grass into center field. Coming up throwing is Dowdle. And another one-hop throw, a perfect throw from Maddie Dowdle, but there's now runners on the corners for the Redhawks with Bailey Thompson, the cleanup hitter, digging in. So another jam for Brianna Aguilar to get herself out of here. Would love to see a ground ball hit to end the inning. So we'll see how Dietrich and Bobo deal with Seattle's cleanup hitter. Looks like we're going to get a mound visit as Coach Jeff Hurai talks things over with Dale Wilson. Looks like he wants to make a change as well. Pinch runner over there at first base. It's going to be Bailey Paul pinch running for Madison Cathcart, putting a little bit more speed on the base paths for the Redhawks.
Seattle does lead the WAC in runs scored and stolen bases.
So with Choate on third base, you wouldn't expect Cathcart to try and swipe it back. Didn't even have a stolen base attempt this spring, so she gets pinch ran for Bailey Paul, who does have 3 stolen bases this season. She's only been caught once, so we'll see if she takes off here to at least eliminate the double play scenario here with Thompson at the plate. 1 for 2 in this one, picked up that RBI. She taps that one softly on the ground at third and foul. So count 0-1. Again, Aguilar looking to spot her pitch here. Doesn't want to give in to Thompson, but trying to hit her corner, trying to get Thompson to chase something. Low in the zone, trying to hit the ball on the ground here to potentially end the inning with a double play ground ball. Going to be a tough task here for Aguilar with the .313 hitting Thompson. Struck out in her last at-bat. As the 0-1 pitch is ripped into center field, that's going to be bobbled out there by Dowdle. Tried to make the sliding grab. That'll score a run as runners are going to move up to second and third. It's going to be an RBI double for Thompson, her second of the game. Second RBI as she picks up RBI number 32. And Seattle has a 5-2 lead, looking for more with runners on second and third. A tough play out there for Maddie Dowdle. Got a glove on it. Just couldn't squeeze it in as it trickled into center field, allowing Choate to score.
Yeah, definitely great efforts out there by Maddie Dowdle, but unfortunately it just barely missed her glove.
Would have been a tough play coming across her body there. So the Lopes infield will come in here as that pitch is flied in the air, shallow left field. Nicoletti has it. It's going to throw home as Choate thought about coming home. Bluffs, heads back to third. Strong throwing on from Nicoletti. We saw it last night with two putouts out there in left field, throwing out a runner at home plate and at third base, both coming in game two. As Carly Nance is going to get an opportunity to at least drive in a pair here. Again, that two-run home run in the first inning. 2 for 2 in the game, picking up a single back in the third. As Bobo tries to limit the damage, she's only allowed 1 run. As the first pitch paints the corner, count 0-1. Nance looking for RBIs, 24 and 25 in this at-bat. As that one's ripped right to Smith, she gloves it for the final out. So hard hit by Nance, but Bobo limits the damage, only allows 1 run on the RBI double from Thompson. As we move to the bottom of the fourth, Lopes now down by 3, looking to chip away here at home.
If you're visiting campus this spring, why not stay at the GCU Hotel? Featuring comfortable rooms, a resort-style pool, and the Canyon 49 Grill, it's the perfect place to stay when coming to GCU. Book a room today at gcuhotel.com.
So it'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for the Lopes here in the fourth against Larkins. Although has not been beneficiary from the home plate umpire thus far, with a few outside calls not going her way, has been able to find a way to only give up 2 runs in this ball game on 4 hits. The Lopes leaving 2 runners in scoring position thus far, as it'll be Sierra Smith, Kaylee Dietrich, and Maddie Dowdle trying to get the Lopes back in this game. Again, we saw the Lopes go down 5-0 early on last night. We're able to cut the deficit to 2 at 5-3 before Thompson hit that home run in the 9th for the 6-3 win. Larkins has just thrown 44 pitches in this one. In 3 innings, he's only allowed 4 hits. We saw Sierra Smith driving a run in that first inning with a ground ball on the right side, scoring Chase Smith. Trying to get on to lead things off here in the fourth. Seattle with already 8 hits offensively in this one have put a runner in scoring position in each of the first 4 innings. And that will result in 5 runs, like we see so far here tonight.
Leading off the bottom of the fourth for GCU.
Lopes also with 4 errors defensively through the first 4 innings, which will also help out that Seattle offense score runs. So we'll see if the Lopes bats can get themselves back in this game. Smith taps that one foul, count 0-1 to begin this at-bat.
Sierra is ranked 9th in all-time in WAC history for career triples, and Lopes could really benefit from a triple right here.
Oh, 1 pitch popped in the air. Should be playable for Matriotti, who hauls it in for the first out. Smith will head back to the dugout as Kaylee Dietrich will get her second chance here against the Redhawks right-hander.
Number 5.
So Smith just getting underneath that fastball. Dietrich 0 for 1, struck out looking back in the first inning. As that pitch clips the outside corner, count 0-1. So Andy Larkins, as we mentioned, picked up the 5th no-hitter in Seattle's history last week and picked up the save here last night. Struggled early on in those first 2 innings, but has seemed to found the zone here after an easy 1-2-3 in the 3rd inning. Has now retired 5 Lopes hitters in a row. Dietrich's average down to 236 with that strikeout in the first. Lays off that high off-speed pitch, and the count moves to 2-1. Maddie Dowdle, the senior, waiting on deck. We were mentioning in her last at-bat, played in 48 of the 50 games her freshman year in left field. As that pitch hit hard, Timmons has it, throws to first. Slick play there from the Red Hawks shortstop as she gets praise over there from her first baseman. And they're quickly 2 away. 6 now retired straight for Seattle's right-hander, Larkins, as Dowdle will dig in. So she started 48 of the 50 games in left field, had a .331 average that year with 46 hits, including 13 extra base hits, which also included 6 home runs. And she carried that over into her sophomore year. Only had a .250 batting average, but had 9 RBIs and scored 13 runs. And then played in 58 games for the Lopes in left field her junior year in 2018 with a .258 batting average, 40 hits. Picked up 7 doubles, scored 24 runs. Has a .279 batting average at the moment for the Lopes, as she's quickly ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. So looking to get a pitch to drive here with 2 outs. Again, the Lopes down by 3 in this one on senior night. We'll celebrate the Smith sisters as well as Maddie Dowdle and Taylor Kay following the action here tonight. As the 2-0 pitch hit in the air, fairly deep left field. Going back is Sylvan. She'll make the play for the final out of the inning. So back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Andy Larkins as she's settling in here in Phoenix. Let's move to the top of the 5th. 5-2 Red Hawks. You're watching GCU softball here on GCU TV.
Feel the thunder in the heart of Phoenix. GCULopes.com.
We needed one more member on our roster. Streets of New York is proud to announce Grand Canyon University to our winning team. We are now the official pizza of GCU. Go Lopes.
Inning number 5 here at GCU softball stadium as Brianna Aguilar is going to turn things over to Lexi Coons here in the top of the 5th. Bobo threw in 3 1/3 innings pitched, only allowed 1 earned run, gave up 5 hits. Lexi Coons, we saw last night, through 5 1/3 innings of her own. Pitched brilliantly in that game for the Lopes, keeping them in it. And she will deal with the bottom third of Seattle's order, starting with Cherise Sylvan, who picked up a single back in the 3rd. She's 1 for 2. That'll be Sylvan, Timmons, and Matriotti. As the first pitch clips the corner, and the count's 0-1.
Lexi is really known for being thrown into situations like this and making good saves.
I'll see if she can keep the Lopes in this game as they look to pick up the series win here on senior night. Quickly heading the count against Sylvan, 0-2. Comes into this game 4-4 overall, has 3 saves and 66 innings pitched, has picked up 41 strikeouts, picked up a few Ks last night. And she's only given up 22 extra base hits. She's allowed 25 earned runs as that pitch misses up. Count moves to 1-2. Trying to get Sylvan to chase something out of the zone in this at-bat, as batting average sits at .324. Bottom third of this Red Hawks order. Not an easy task as that pitch is tapped foul on the left side, so we'll do it again at 1-2. Sylvan hitting .324. Brianna Timmons hitting .328. Matriotti hitting .228. And if anybody gets on in this inning, Olivia Vigiano will get her 4th chance in this one. She's hitting .333. As a 1-2 pitch. Spoiled foul again by Sylvan, so she'll stay in there at 1-2. Got a good pitch to hit there with 2 strikes. We'll see if Coons mixes in an off-speed pitch here after not getting Sylvan swinging on that fastball. Goes with the fastball away. Doesn't get Sylvan to chase, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sylvan batting .250 when leading off an inning. Trying to get something going here for her Red Hawks here, up by 3, looking for more as they look to go up 2 games in the WAC standings. Can't hold up on that one, says Dale Wilson. So the first strikeout of the night for Lexi Coons, and there's 1 away here in the 5th. So Timmons will dig in, .328 like I mentioned, 0 for 2 so far in this one. Grounded in to a fielder's choice back in the 3rd, grounded out softly to Shea Smith at short back in the 1st. As the first pitch from Coons ripped past Torville and into right center field. That ball is going to get down and all the way to the wall, fielded out there by Olsen. As Timmons stands up with a double, and for the 5th consecutive inning, Seattle puts a runner in scoring position. Not an easy thing to do for any offense, but Seattle executing on all cylinders so far here tonight. As Allison Matriotti will look to move Timmons over to 3rd base. It looks like we may see a pinch runner here for Timmons. We mentioned earlier, Timmons has not attempted to steal a base at all this season. It looks like we're going to see a pinch hitter for Matriotti, so Matriotti will take a seat after going 0 for 2. And we'll see a pinch hitter, Emma Mitchell, the right-handed bat, the senior out of St. Louis, Missouri. Tough task at hand for Lexi Coons as Jeff Hirai goes with a big bat off the bench. He dunks that one out into right field. It's going to fall for a base hit. That's going to score a run as the play at the plate. Not in time. Throw down to 2nd, and Dietrich is going to gun down Mitchell at 2nd base. And it looks like the 2nd base umpire, Sandy Leak, is going to call an interference on Taylor Olsen. So Mitchell's going to be safe at 2nd base, and they're going to ask her to go back to 1st base. But the run will score. It's an RBI pinch hit single for Emma Mitchell. And it's a 6-2 Seattle lead, so they regain that 4-run lead they had back in the 1st inning. As Wilson, Leak, and Jones talking things over with Jeff Hirai. He's in his 4th season as head coach for the Red Hawks. As Matriotti going to pinch run. So gets pinched hit for by Mitchell. Pinch runs for Mitchell, so she's back in the game. Mitchell does the job. First pitch swinging. Dunks that one into shallow right field, right in front of Lorianne Olsen for the RBI single. Scoring Brianna Timmons. So with 1 out and a runner on 1st base, Coons looks to limit the damage here with Olivia Vigiano digging in for her 4th plate appearance of the night. Picked up a single in the 2nd, grounded out sharply to Sierra Smith in her last at-bat. That came in the 4th. But when Seattle puts a runner in scoring position for 5 consecutive innings. It's hard to limit the damage if you're the Lopes pitching staff, as that pitch misses low and outside, count 1-0. Matriotti goes, pitch fouled off, so hit and run on by Jeff Hirai. Matriotti heads back to first. So the count evens up at 1-1 on Vigiano. Vigiano hitting .327 this season with a runner on base. Slugging .377 so far this spring. 1-1 pitch. Matriotti bluffs over there at first base. Almost looked like she was going. Heads back as the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Would have been a perfect pitch for Dietrich to throw out Matriotti at second base. A fastball low and away. McCoons looks to even up the count here. Doesn't want to fall behind 3-1 on the Red Hawks' left-handed bat, as that pitch is ripped foul on the right side. Matriotti already rounding second on that play as she'll head back to first base. Would have came around to score if that ball was fair. Great speed over there at first base for Seattle. 2-2 pitch to Vigiano, fouled back again as she spoils another fastball from Coons. So putting up a quality at bat against the Lopes right-hander. This will be the 6th pitch of the battle.
Yeah, she's definitely working the count down there.
And we mentioned Matriotti's speed. 7 stolen bases on 8 attempts, has only been caught once this season. She takes off here as that ball's tapped on the right side. Going to be a tough play for Olsen, and it's not going to be made. Dives to make the play at first base, but Vigiano beats it out. We mentioned that speed all night long. Another hit and run on by Jeff Hirai. Pays off there as the runner moves over to second base. Runners on first and second and 1 out now for Allie Choate. As the Lopes look to get themselves out of trouble in this one yet again. Well, when you put the ball in play as much as Seattle has all night, many runs are going to come as a result of it. And Jeff Hirai has pulled all the right strings so far here through the first 5 innings of play for that Red Hawks offense. Olsen doing her best to try and dive and make that put out at first base. If that ball gets into right field, Torville taking off to cover second on the Matriotti steal. If that ball is hit any more over to the right side, that's a base hit, and Matriotti moves over to third base to put runners on the corners with 1 out. So with runners on first and second, the first pitch is in there for a strike on the corner. Count 0-1 on Choate. Choate picking up a double back in the 4th. She's 1 for 3. Has been on base all 3 times after reaching on an E6 back in the 1st. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd. Looking for her 6th hit of the series. In this at-bat as that pitch clips the corner yet again for Lexi Coons, and the count is 0-2. So nice pitch sequence in those first 2 pitches here against Choate, not giving her any good pitches to hit, but able to nab that corner for the first 2 strikes and getting the call from Dale Wilson. We'll see what she goes with on 0-2. Maybe she tries to paint that corner once again, trying to get Choate to hit a ground ball. Goes with that pitch, and she gets the ground ball. Smith will throw across the diamond for the 5-3 putout. Moving over to second and third are Matriotti and Vigiano. So the runners are in scoring position, but Coons goes with the 2 fastballs away for the first 2 called strikes and goes back with a fastball away, getting Choate to hit a lazy ground ball to third for the 2nd out. So a nice pitch sequence there from Lexi Coons as she will now deal with Madison Cathcart, not before a mound visit from the pitching coach, as Coach Hirai wants to talk things over with his offense as well in this at-bat. Big at-bat here with runners on second and third and 2 outs. We saw last night we had runners on second and third and 2 outs with Cathcart at the plate, and the Lopes intentionally walked her to get to Bailey Thompson with the bases loaded. Thompson would pop up in the infield to end the inning. So would not be shocked to see here if the Lopes called for the intentional walk yet again on Cathcart to set up bases loaded and a force at every base for Thompson. Though Thompson does have an RBI double here tonight. Originally thought she had an RBI double in her last at-bat, was scored an E8 on Maddie Dowdle in center field. Would have been a tough play regardless for the Lopes center fielder, but called an E8. So Thompson's 1 for 3 in this game, so we'll see if Dietrich sets up outside, and she's going to, as Cathcart is going to be put on first base, and that will load the bases for the Redhawks.
I'll have to say the Redhawks team definitely does an exceptional job of execution.
So with the bases loaded and 2 outs, Thompson has already hit the ball hard twice tonight. We mentioned that tough play for Dowdle out in center field was a laser hit out there in center field and almost came up with a 2-run home run in the first inning. Picked up an RBI double with a double off the very top of the wall out there in left field. That scored Allie Choate to get Seattle on the board. Remember, it was 2 outs and a runner on first base for Ryan Denhart, looking for an easy-going first inning. Seattle putting up 4 2-out runs, chasing Denhart from the game in that first inning as Aguilar had to take over. So here we go, bases loaded, 2 outs. Matriotti on third, Vigiano on second, and Cathcart on first. We saw this same scenario here last night with Thompson popping up to Shea Smith in the infield.
Yeah, this is definitely a big at-bat.
Looking to open up the floodgates here for the Redhawks. Again, trying to take a 2-game lead in the WAC standings with the final series here coming this upcoming week for the Lopes in Kansas City as that pitch clips the inside corner, count 0-1. Coons had to get ahead of Thompson there. Didn't want to fall behind the Redhawks cleanup hitter. We've already seen her do some damage here tonight like we just mentioned. Thompson hitting .311 with 10 home runs, now 31 RBIs with that double back in the first. 0-1 pitch, hooked down the left field line. She barreled it up, but hooks it down the line foul, so the count moves to 0-2 now. Just what Coons needed to do. Goes inside on Thompson for the first 2 pitches, trying to get her to jam a pitch. Trying to get a soft fly ball or ground ball here to get herself out of the inning. We'll see what she goes with here on 0-2. Would not shock to see her come up in here. Got her on the first 2 pitches inside. Dietrich is set up in, as it's going to be an outside pitch. Goes with the off-speed, does Coons, as the count moves to 1-2. So she comes inside on the first 2 pitches, tries to fool Thompson with an off-speed pitch on the outside corner. Doesn't get her to chase.
This is definitely a crucial strikeout.
So she goes with the off-speed away on 0-2. Goes with the fastball on 1-2. And it's fouled off by Thompson. That pitch getting a little bit too much of the plate there. Thompson wishes she could have that fastball back. Now she'll get another try here. And plenty of speed on the base paths for the Redhawks with Vigiano on second and Matriotti on third. Cathcart was pinch run for in her last at-bat, still over there at first base. We'll see if she can come around on a ball in the gap. As that pitch misses up, count moves to 2-2. So Coons tries to get Thompson to chase the 1-2 pitch up in the zone, doesn't get her to bite, so the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes here. Again, have to be very careful with the Redhawks cleanup hitter. The 2 hard hit balls here tonight. Picked up that home run last night, her 5th of the season, just over the right field wall. As it'll be a 2-2 pitch from Coons. Goes with the fastball inside and gets Thompson looking. No called third strike as Dale Wilson rings her up. Lexi Coons limits the damage, but Seattle does pick up 1 more run to add to their lead. They now have a 4-run lead as we move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. 6-2 Seattle here in Phoenix, Arizona.
You can watch the latest series from GCU TV, Living as Lopes, Finding Your Purpose. Living as Lopes follows a group of GCU students as they navigate their way through college life and all that it holds, with a few fun twists along the way. Watch new episodes every week on youtube.com/GCU.
So the Lopes running out of time in this one on senior night. Remember, stay tuned after the final out. Lopes will celebrate the Smith sisters, Maddie Dowdle and Taylor Kay, on the field. The Lopes trying to erase a 4-run deficit against Andy Larkins, who has retired the last 7 Lopes that she has faced. After a rough first 2 innings, giving up 2 earned runs on 4 hits, Larkins has found the zone here, finding her rhythm. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings in the 3rd and the 4th. Deals with the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the Lopes orders here in the 5th. You got Taylor Olson, Lorianne Olson, and Gianna Nicoletti. And if at least 2 of these guys can get on in this inning, set up for the heart of the order with Shea Smith and Savannah Torville looming, due up 4th and 5th in this inning, if the Lopes can get a few base runners.
Leading off the bottom of the 5th for GCU, first baseman, number 8, Taylor Olson.
So Olson digs in 1 for 1 against Larkins. Laced that double in the right center field gap in her first at-bat and rips that one past Timmons and into left field for a base hit here in her second at-bat. So Olson 2 for 2. Jumps all over that first pitch fastball over the heart of the plate, not wasting any time against Larkins, who's been dominant like I just mentioned. We saw her way back on that 3-1 fastball over the heart of the plate back in the 2nd inning, lacing it into the right center field gap for the double. All over that first pitch fastball in the inner heart of the plate for a single into left. So Lorianne Olson now trying to move Taylor Olson into scoring position. We'll see what she can do in this at-bat. Takes a first pitch ball low and away, count 1-0. Lorianne grounded back to Larkins in her last at-bat, which moved Olson over to third base at the time. Lopes unable to get Olson in from third base. That happened back in the 2nd inning. 1-0 pitch. Olson tries for the bunt as it's fouled off. Lopes did an amazing job last night executing the bunt, laying down 3 sacrifice bunts in those 2 games. Resulted in a lot of runs being scored in game 1. 1-1 pitch. Slapped foul there by Olson, so not bunting with 1 strike. Fouls that pitch straight back, and she's down on the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Larkins already has 2 strikeouts here tonight, as she's been doing a good job mixing her fastball with that devastating off-speed pitch that she's known to take out of her bag of tricks every now and then. As a 1-2 pitch, fastball tapped slowly to second base. Tough play there for Reed, but she makes it, retiring Olson for the first out. Moving over to second is Taylor Olson, so the Lopes have a runner in scoring position with 1 out as we move back to the top of the batting order. It looks like Coach Pearson's going to make a switch as Gianna Nicoletti's going to take a seat. And it looks like it's going to be Jordan Keaton pinch hitting. We saw Jordan pinch hit last night.
Now batting for GCU, number 22, Jordan Keaton.
Keaton going 0 for 1 in game 2 last night. Has 1 home run on the season. 12 hits and 47 at-bats. Rounds out to a .255 batting average. Looking to score Olson from second base. First pitch is in there for a called strike, count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch just misses on the outside corner. Count moves to 1-1. Larkin wanted that pitch as well. Again, like we just mentioned, Olson left stranded back in the 2nd inning after being moved over to third base with 2 outs. On second base here with 1 away. Keaton looking to drive in the run as she swings through that off-speed pitch. Count moves to 1-2. There's that off-speed pitch I was talking about from Larkin. Placing it on the outside corner as she looks to retire Keaton with Shea Smith waiting on deck. Lopes would love to get Keaton on here with the heart of the order looming. 1-2 pitch misses outside. Olsen bluffs at second, heads back.
Lopes definitely really work together as a team, and Jordan says that the biggest influence in life has been her teammates.
Jordan looks to drive in one of her teammates right here, right now. She taps that one to third. Going to be a tough play for Matriotti as she throws across the diamond for the 5-3 putout, retiring Keaton. So that does not move Olsen over to third base. She's now at second base with 2 outs now, as Shea Smith will dig in, looking to continue the inning for the Lopes.
Your shortstop, number 6, Shea Smith.
Shea already picked up a hit in this game, has 4 hits this weekend thus far, picking up 2 hits in game 1, a hit in game 2 last night. Singled over the head of Cathcart back in the first inning. That put runners on the corners for the Lopes at the time, looking for a big first inning after giving up 4 runs in the top of the first inning. Came away with 2 runs to cut the lead in half, but Seattle has since gotten those 2 runs back as Shea Smith looks to do some damage here. Takes a fastball on the outside corner. That evens up the count at 1-1.
Shea is second in the whack and bunt singles this season with 8, and it'll be interesting to see if she attempts to bunt to move her teammate to third.
1-1 pitch, loft in the air, fairly deep left field. Sylvan's got a beat on it in foul territory, and she makes the grab. Another scoreless inning of work for Andy Larkins as we move to inning number 6 here in Phoenix, Arizona at Seattle 6, GCU 2. You're watching GCU softball right here on GCU TV.
Feel the thunder in the heart of Phoenix. GCULopes.com.
Across the great desert to where the mountains touch the sky. This is Sanderson Ford country, where Arizona's pride. Sanderson Ford country, built on serving you. Sanderson Ford, satisfaction in everything we do. We're Arizona's pride. Sanderson Ford.
Back here in the top of the 6th inning here on GCU TV, a 6-2 lead for the Redhawks. Lexi Coons back out on the mound for her 2nd inning in relief.
Leading off for the Redhawks, second baseman.
Gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run last inning. Limit the damage, however, after loading the bases. We saw in last night's game with runners on 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs, the Lopes walking Cathcart to load the bases for Bailey Thompson. Last night we saw her pop out to end the inning, as it paid off again here tonight for the Lopes. As Coons got Thompson looking on a 2-2 fastball on the inside corner. She'll now deal with the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, looking for an easygoing 6th inning as the Lopes offense running out of time, down by 4 against Andy Larkins, who has found her rhythm in the last 3 innings. Coons quickly ahead of Ree. No balls and 2 strikes. Ree's already picked up 2 hits in this one. RBI single into right field back in the 1st. Picked up a base hit in the 3rd inning as well before flying out to fairly deep left field in her last at bat. As that pitch misses outside, count 1-2. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 6th inning for the Lopes, you got Savannah Torville, Kaylee Holland, and Sierra Smith against Larkins. Torville 0 for 2 thus far. Holland does have 1 hit, 1 RBI. That came in the 1st, and Sierra Smith also picking up an RBI in that 1st inning. This will be a 1-2 pitch to Ree. That one way inside, as that one's going to plunk the Red Hawks senior, and she'll take first base. And that'll bring up Carly Nance with a runner on first and nobody out. So Seattle continuing the trend, putting runners on base early on in the innings. That pitch just got away from Lexi Coons. Did a nice job getting ahead of Seattle's second baseman. That one just getting away from her, trying to hit the inside corner with a fastball. We'll now have a tough task at hand in Carly Nance, who again hit a long 2-run home run in her first at-bat. That gave Seattle a 4-0 lead at the time. First pitch misses outside, 1-0. Nance has since grounded into a fielder's choice and lined out sharply to Shea Smith. That ended the top of the 4th inning. Rhee on first has only stolen 2 bases. She's been caught stealing twice as well. As that pitch just misses off the outside corner, and the count moves to 2-0 on Nance. Nance hitting .278 with runners on base. You saw her jump over a first pitch fastball from Aguilar for that 2-run shot. It was her 5th home run of the season. As that pitch clips the outside corner. Nice pitch there from Coons as the count moves to 2-1.
Yeah, Nance is definitely a player to watch this game. She's ranked 29th in the nation in ERA, excuse me.
Here's the 2-1 delivery from Coons. Rhee leads off first, off-speed pitch low, as Dietrich once again paying close attention to the runner on first base as the count moves to 3-1. It'll be interesting to see how Coons deals with Nance on this next pitch. 3-1 pitch, does not want to give in to the big left-handed bat here. We saw her power earlier on. Rhee looking to get a good jump off of first base as that pitch misses up. And for the 6th consecutive inning, Seattle now has a runner in scoring position. So runners on first and second, nobody out. Sylvan is hitting .321 on the season. Would not be shocked to see her butt the runners over to second and third here. Seattle looks once again to put the nail in the coffin here in the 6th inning. It looks like we're going to see a pinch runner for Nance over there at first base. It's going to be Mackenzie Matacoro pinch running over there at first base for Carly Nance. So Jeff Hirai putting more speed on the bases for the bottom third of his order due up. Again, the bottom third of the order for Seattle, not an easy task, with Sylvan hitting .321 and Timmons hitting .333. And the first pitch from Coons in there for a strike, paints the corner beautifully as Sylvan once again looking to square for the bunt. So it looks like she's going to try and move the runners over to second and third in this at-bat. 1 for 3 in the game. Picked up a single back in the third, but struck out swinging in the 5th. That led off the 5th inning. As the 0-1 pitch squares to bunt again. That pitch high, throw down to second, snap throw from Dietrich, not in time. Trying to keep Rhee honest over there at second base. Leaning a little too far after that bunt attempt from Sylvan. Had to pull back. Pitch nearly up towards her head on that last pitch. So we'll see if she squares again on 1-1. Smith in at the bag at third. Does not square. She slices that one foul as the count moves to 1-2. So Sylvan swinging now as she'll look to protect the plate here with 2 strikes. Still trying to move the runners into scoring position. Trying to hit a ball on the right side here. See Lorianne Olson in right field playing just in front of the warning track. Right down the line. A huge gap out there in right center field. As Rhee leads off second. Matacoro off first. 1-2 pitch, skied in the air foul. That's going to reach the seats for a souvenir. And the count remains 1-2. We mentioned Rhee only with 2 stolen base successes so far this season. Matacoro in 2 attempts has only stolen 1 base. So decent speed on the base paths for the Redhawks. As Coons delivers the 1-2 pitch, goes with the fastball away, misses. The count moves to 2-2. Throw gets away there, but right there is Torville to back up Coons. Two 2 pitch. Goes with the fastball again on 2-2. Misses as the count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Coons going with the fastball on those last 2 pitches. Doesn't get Sylvan to chase. Gonna have to come right after the left-handed bat for Seattle here. 3-2 pitch. No outs. Runners on first and second. Here's the payoff pitch. Floated out there in the air to left. Should be an easy play for Nicoletti. She grabs it for the first out. A big out for Coons. And she is now 1 good pitch away from getting herself out of this jam. Timmons is 1 for 3, hitting .333 like I mentioned. But she has hit the ball on the ground twice so far here tonight. Grounded out to short back in the first. Grounded into a fielder's choice on the right side back in the fourth as that pitch misses low in the zone, count 1-0. Doubled in her last at bat. Is hitting .260 this season with runners in scoring position. As she looks to drive in Ree from second base. 1-0 pitch. Cut on and missed. Coons goes with the fastball to even up the count at 1-1. Lopes fans starting to get a little rowdy here in this one in the top of the 6th. So Lopes trying to get out of this jam. Runners on first and second and 1 out. 1-1 pitch to Timmons. Ripped up the middle. That ball is going to be caught out there by Dowell for the second out. So Timmons hits that one right on the nose, but right into the glove of the Lopes center fielder for out number 2. So 2 away, runners on first and second, and that'll bring up Allison Matriotti.
Third baseman, Allison Matriotti.
Matriotti was pinch hit for back in the 5th inning, as Emma Mitchell pinched hit an RBI single into shallow right field. That gave Seattle a 5-2 lead at the time, a 6-2 lead at that time in the 5th inning as that pitch in there for a strike, count 0-1. Matriotti 0 for 2 in this one, lined out sharply to Smith at third base in the second, and grounded to first. Back in the 3rd inning, unassisted put out by Taylor Olson as that pitch misses outside, count 1-0, or 1-1. Lexi Coons, despite giving up 2 runners to lead off this inning, has done a nice job trying to paint that outside corner, has not given in to any hitter so far here in this inning. As she gets a sign from Dietrich, delivers a 1-1 pitch to Matriotti. Runners lead off as that pitch is popped up in the air. Easy play for Smith. She puts it away for the final out. So Lexi Coons puts runners on first and second with nobody out to lead off the inning. Picks up 3 consecutive outs to get herself into and out of trouble. Let's move to the bottom of the 6th. Lopes running out of time. They trail by 4 here at home.
And it's time for the upcoming schedule, brought to you by BSN Sports, the largest provider of team sports equipment and apparel in the country. Baseball starts a 3-game series against Cal State Bakersfield on Friday, May 3rd. First pitch scheduled for 6:30 p.m. The WAC Championships for softball run from Wednesday, May 8th to Saturday, May 11th, right here at the GCU Softball Stadium.
And that tournament kicking off on May 8th. Baseball, of course, entering 2 of their final homestands with a matchup against Bakersfield here next weekend, May 5th through the 5th. And then another one the following weekend, the 10th through the 12th. Plenty of game still left to go here in this one as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning. Lopes with 2 more chances against right-hander Andy Larkins. As we've mentioned, Larkins finding her groove in the bottom of the 3rd inning, has had 3 easy-going innings, back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings in the 3rd and the 4th. Only allowed one base runner back in the 5th as she deals with the heart of the Lopes order. It'll be Torville, Holland, and Smith trying to get things going for the Lopes.
Next weekend, the Lopes are traveling to Kansas City, and going into tonight, Kansas City is only 5-7 in conference play, but they have won 25 games on the season, and they have some of the top speedsters on the bases.
Here's the first pitch to Torville. In there for a call strike count, 0-1. You mentioned that series, Montana. It'll be vital for the Lopes to pick up a victory here tonight. If they go down by 2 games, there's no telling what Seattle has in store this upcoming week in their final series. As a 2-game lead for them going into this final week for both squads will give them the advantage. Regardless of how well the Lopes play, you got to look out on that wax scoreboard to see how Seattle will be doing.
Yeah, Seattle definitely doesn't have a final easy series next weekend as they're facing Cal Baptist, who is in the number 3 spot.
As the count moves to 1-2, so when it comes to series next weekend, the Lopes getting the benefit of the doubt compared to the Redhawks. Seattle with a tougher schedule in these final 3 games before we enter May 8th back here at GCU Softball Stadium for the WAC tournament.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be quite a finish to the regular season play.
One-two pitch, misses outside. Larkin is trying to get Torville to chase there. She doesn't bite. Count moves to 2-2. Torville struck out in her last at-bat against Larkins. Larkins breaking out that filthy off-speed pitch in that at-bat. Got her to chase a pitch on the inside corner to get her swinging. She fouls off that pitch as the count remains 1-2. So Torville working a quality at-bat here against Larkins. Larkins, I mentioned, struck her out in her last at-bat. Only has 2 strikeouts on the night. Up to 66 pitches. Nobody warming up in Seattle's pen. As the 2-2 pitch, popped in the air, playable for Thompson behind the plate. She bobbles it and she's not going to be able to make the play. So Torville's going to get a second life here in this inning. A golden opportunity here for Torville to right that wrong as she looked dead to rights on that pop-up. Thompson unable to come away with the play, in and out of that catcher's mitt. We'll see if that comes back to haunt Bailey Thompson here. Larkins looks to put away Torville on this 2-2 pitch. Goes with the fastball, drills it up the middle. A tough hop for Timmons as it scoots past her head and into center field for a base hit. So Torville gets the second life and rifles that one up the middle. A very tough hop there for Brianna Timmons as that ball looked like it was going to go right into her glove, and it immediately takes a left turn and into center field. Nothing you could do there if you're Brianna Timmons. Just lucky to get out of the way of that scorching ground ball off the bat of Torville. It looks like Savannah's going to be pinch ran for.
Number 29,
It's going to be Kate Acton looking to come around to score here in this 6th inning.
the designated player, number 12.
So Kaylee Holland will get her 3rd go-around against Larkins. 1 for 2, picked up an RBI single in that 1st inning. Waiting back on a fastball, driving it into right field. As she rips that one right to the 3rd baseman and on to 1st. A nice double play turn there from Matriotti, because that's got to feel good if you're Bailey Thompson.
That ball went directly to her glove. That was a great catch by.
So right at Matriotti, makes a play. Acton stranding a little too far off the bag as Matriotti threw across the diamond for the out. A huge monkey off the bat for Bailey Thompson, who missed that pop-up in foul territory off the bat of Torville. Torville coming back on the very next pitch and ripping a single up the middle. So just like that, 2 away here for Sierra Smith, trying to bring Dietrich to the plate. This could potentially be Sierra Smith's final home at bat in this regular season. Remember, the WAC tournament is being hosted here at GCU Softball Stadium. But this could potentially be the final home at bat for Sierra Smith during the regular season, as she's ahead in the count 2-0 on Larkins. 0 for 2 in the game. Picked up an RBI on a ground ball out in the first inning. Popped up softly to third base in her last at bat. That came in the fourth. 2-0 pitch. Misses low and the count runs to 3-0. It'll be interesting to see if Sierra gets the green light down by 4. She has been hot at the plate, but with her team down by 4, Lopes again looking for base runners. Wouldn't be shocked to see if Coach Pearson held off here on 3-0. Pitch misses inside, so a 4-pitch walk to Smith as she heads down to first base, and that'll bring Kaylee Dietrich to the dish. 0 for 2 in this one already against Larkins.
The catcher, number 5, Kaylee Dietrich.
Struck out looking to end the first inning. Grounded out to short back in the fourth. Just trying to keep this inning going for the Lopes. As that pitch chops slowly to Matriotti. Throws across the diamond for the final out, so Matriotti makes all 3 putouts after the double play ground ball. Another scoreless frame for Andy Larkins as we head to inning number 7. A 6-2 lead for Seattle, looking to salvage the rubber match of this 3-game set. You're watching GCU Softball right here on GCU TV.
When my hot water heater failed, she was pregnant, in-laws were coming, a little bit of water, it rocked our world.
I had no idea the amount of damage that water could do.
We called USAA, and they greeted me as they always do. Sergeant Baker, how are you? They were on it. It was unbelievable. Having insurance is something everyone needs, but having USAA, that's a privilege. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
USAA. Get your insurance quote today.
Do you want to be on Ask GCU? Twitter raffle.
Twitter raffle.
Tweet us your questions, and the person with the best question is going to get featured on the next episode with the crew.
My dudes.
What are you doing?
People don't like us very much, it seems.
Tweet hashtag AskGCU to get your question featured.
So back here on GCU TV as we enter the top of the 7th inning. Lexi Kuhn still out there on the circle. As she just tries to salvage the final 3 outs here in this 7th inning. We've seen through the first 6 innings of play, Seattle getting at least 1 runner in scoring position. It'll be interesting to see if they can pull off all 7 innings here tonight of getting a runner at least on second base, as that pitch is in there for a strike. Count moves to 0-1. A tough thing to do, but Seattle has been able to execute all night long. Lopes able to stay in this game, only down by 4. As they will get one last stab at Andy Larkins in the bottom of the 7th, trying for a last-ditch effort to win this series. This is the rubber match. Lopes won 10-1 in Game 1 yesterday, losing 6-3 to the Red Hawks in Game 2 last night. It'll be no easy task here for Lexi Coons as she will deal with the top half of the order for Seattle. 5th go-around for Olivia Vigiano, 2 for 4 in the game. Singled in her last at-bat, that came in the 5th. And if Vigiano gets on, it's more than likely that she'll get into scoring position with her speed, as she's ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Hitting .338 on the season. Again, 20 stolen bases this season, has only been caught 4 times. The freshman out of Mission Viejo, California. As the 2-1 pitch misses up and the count moves to 3-1. So Coons is going to have to come right after Vigiano here. We've seen her paint the corners in each of the last 2 innings to get herself out of trouble. We'll see if she tries to overpower Vigiano with her fastball here on 3-1. Gets a sign from Dietrich. and delivers fastball on the corner, called strike 2. And the count is full at 3-2. So Coons does not come right after Vigiano. Sneaks the fastball right on the outside corner for strike 2. As she tries to retire Vigiano for the first time in this ballgame. Defense playing straight away for Seattle's left-handed bat. As the payoff pitch on the corner, strike 3. Vigiano will take a seat as Coons picks up her third strikeout of the night. As Dietrich wants to talk things over with Coons yet again before Allie Choate digs in. Choate 1 for 4 in this game, has 5 hits in the series, picked up 3 hits in game 1, a hit in game 2, and has 1 hit and 4 at-bats here tonight, average at .408. And that leads Seattle in batting average. Ripped a single that whistled past the glove of Sierra Smith back in the 4th inning. Came around to score. As that off-speed pitch drops in beautifully for a called strike on the outside corner, and the count's 0-1. So Coons quickly getting ahead of Seattle's best hitter, with Madison Cathcart waiting on deck. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th inning, last licks for the Lopes. It'll be Dowdle, Olson, and T-Tone. So that pitch misses outside, count moves to 1-1. One pitch on the corner for strike 2. Count moves to 1-2. Choate thought about laying down a drag bunt there. Pulls back as Coons paints the corner yet again. Dietrich doing a good job framing that ball behind home plate. Home plate umpire Dale Wilson's been consistent all night long. As the 1-2 pitch, cut on and miss. Back-to-back punch-outs for Lexi Coons, as Choate will take a seat, and that'll bring up Cathcart with 2 away. So Lexi Coons doing a nice job getting ahead of Choate there after falling behind. 3-1 on Vigiano, battling back to get her to swing and miss. But heading that count all the way to Choate, getting her to swing through that 1-2 fastball. So Madison Cathcart with 1 hit in this game as well. Allison Matriotti, the only Red Hawk without a hit in this ball game. Olivia Vigiano 2 for 5. Allie Choate 1 for 5 in this game. Average still over 400. Cathcart 1 for 3. Looking for her second hit right here. Bailey Thompson on deck, 1 for 4 in this game with an RBI. As that pitch misses outside, count moves to 2-0. We've seen Cherie Sylvan 1 for 4 as well, and Timmons 1 for 4 as well. We saw Matriotti get pinch hit for, so 1 at bat taken away from her. That happened in the 5th inning, when Emma Mitchell pinched hit, got herself a base hit, scored a run. As that pitch drops in beautifully for a strike, count moves to 2-1. So after falling behind 2-0, Coons fools Cathcart with an off-speed pitch, drops in there perfectly for a strike. See if she goes back to the corner here on 2-1, trying to even up the count. Looking for an easy 1-2-3 inning, trying to keep the Lopes in this game just down by 4. She does go outside, but misses. Count moves to 3-1 on Cathcart. Got to be careful here if you're Lexi Coons. Cathcart leading Seattle with 11 home runs on the season. Outfield playing fairly deep for the left-handed bat. Coons did a nice job hitting that outside corner against Vigiano for a called strike number 2. We'll see what she gives Cathcart here. Goes inside, misses up and in. So a 2-out walk handed out to Cathcart. She's on for the 3rd time in this one. Walked back in the 5th inning. Intentional walk that loaded the bases for Bailey Thompson, who struck out against Coons in her last at-bat. 2-2 fastball placed perfectly on the inside corner. So Bailey Thompson getting her second go-around against Lexi Coons. 1 for 4 in the game, like we mentioned. RBI single off the top of the left field wall back in the 1st. Struck out swinging in the 2nd. Hit a ball sharply on a line into center field. Would be scored an E8 by Maddie Dowdle, though. It was a very tough play for the Lopes center field that scored 1 run, put runners on 2nd and 3rd at the time, and struck out looking with the bases loaded, like I just mentioned, back in the 5th. As she swings, hits that one hard. Nice stab there by Sierra Smith, but it's called foul by Dale Wilson behind the plate. So the count quickly 0-1 on Thompson. Looking to pass the baton over to Kaylee Ree, who has 2 hits in this game, including an RBI.
I think GCU really needs to just relax and go back to all the items that they used yesterday during game 1 to help them be so successful.
Oh, 1 pitch. And the Lopes again capped off that 10-1 win with an 8-run inning in that 4th inning. Picked up 8 hits. Sierra Smith launching a 2-run home run over the right field wall for her 5th home run of the year. A no-doubter to right field. We saw Carly Nance hit a no-doubter to right field for her 5th home run of the year here tonight in the 1st inning. As that pitch misses in, count moves to 2-1 on Thompson. The Lopes offense firing on all cylinders in that game 1, like you mentioned, Montana. Chipped away in game 2 after falling behind 5-0. Couldn't complete the comeback in the end. We saw Bailey Thompson hit that home run in the 7th inning as she comes inches away from connecting for another home run in this 7th inning here tonight. As Dowdle makes a play out there in left field for the final out. So let's move to the bottom of the 7th. Do the Lopes have a rally in their bones here on senior night? Only one way to find out. 6-2 Seattle as we move to the bottom half of the 7th.
The Lopes shop is proud to carry products from GCBC, the Grand Canyon Beverage Company. Enjoy this tasty line of coffee, tea, and energy drinks from GCU in the comfort of your own home. Now available on lopeshops.gcu.edu/GCBC.
So it will be Dowdle, Olsen, and T-Tone. Taylor T-Tone entering the game playing center field this past inning for the Lopes, as the Lopes will get one last go-around against Andy Larkins, looking for the complete game. She gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in the 1st inning, has since been dominant for the Red Hawks, only allowing 3 hits in the last 5 innings pitched. Has left 4 runners in scoring position for the Lopes. Seattle has left a total of 13 runners on base, but they have cashed in multiple times, as we saw in that 7th inning. 1st inning of the night, Seattle did not have a runner in scoring position. As Maddie Dowdle set to dig in here, already 0 for 2 in this one. Grounded out to second back in the 2nd. Flied out to left in the 4th. As the Red Hawks discuss their game plan out there on the mound for this inning, as they look for their right-hander Andy Larkins to close the door and take a 2-game lead in the WAC standings heading into that final weekend against California Baptist. Lopes will head to Kansas City like we mentioned earlier. As the first pitch to Dowdle in there on the inside corner. First strike count 0-1. And with Seattle being up by 2 games in the conference heading into this final week, the Lopes will need to pick up at least 2 wins against Kansas City, with Seattle losing at least 2 games against California Baptist to at least tie for the conference. Again, the Lopes getting the benefit of the doubt with Kansas City just 5-7 in conference play so far this spring. That pitch ripped down the 3rd base line and foul, so the count moves to 1-2.
And like you mentioned earlier, Jock, yesterday during game 1, the Lopes had an 8-run 4th inning, so it'll be interesting to see what they can come back around and do at the bottom of this inning.
Need at least 4 runs to tie at the bottom 3rd of their order. You got Nicoletti and Smith due up 4th and 5th in this inning if you can get a base runner on. As that pitch on the outside corner, called strike 3 by Wilson. As Dowdle will take a seat, she's 0 for 3 in this game, as that may have potentially been Maddie Dowdle's final home regular season at bat here at GCU Softball Stadium. So with 1 away here Taylor Olson will try and get on for the third time. 2 for 2, as she has found it fairly easy to figure out Andy Larkins in this game. A double back in the second inning. Would be left stranded at third base. Rifled a single on the left side past the glove of Timmons. That was in the 5th inning. Quickly behind in the count, 0-1. Larkins had 82 pitches, nobody warming up in the bullpen. As that pitch misses low, 1-1. So this game firmly in the hands of Andy Larkins. Looking for her second complete game in as many weekends. We mentioned the no-hitter last weekend against Bakersfield en route to a sweep for Seattle. Seattle actually came into this weekend winning each of their last 7 games. As a 1-1 pitch drops in there for a strike, and the count moves to 1-2. Nothing Olsen could do about that pitch. Just a nasty location and pitch there from Larkins. Lopes with 2 runs on just 6 hits. They committed 4 errors in the first 2 innings of this game, leading to 4 runs for Seattle. As that pitch cut on and missed, Larkins fools Olsen with the off-speed pitch low and away, and the Lopes are down to their final out. So Larkins came into this inning with just 2 strikeouts, picks up 2 strikeouts for the first 2 outs here in the 7th. As Coach Pearson looks to make another change, as it looks like Lily Bishop is going to get an opportunity to swing the bat against Larkins with 2 outs here in the 7th. Taylor Teton, who took over in center field for Lorianne Olsen last inning, will not get a chance to hit here as Bishop will see some action here, hitting .264, 4 home runs on the season, 21 RBIs. Just trying to pass the baton to Nicoletti, waiting on deck. First pitch, chopped to short. Tough hop for Timmons. Comes across, the scoop on the back end by Cathcart, and that'll do it as Seattle picks up the 6-2 win. A dominant performance from Andy Larkins. We mentioned she gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning, settled down 6 scoreless innings. After that 2-run first inning, Seattle's bats came alive with 4 runs in the first inning. The big blow, the 2-run home run off the bat of Kathy Nance, a no-doubter over the wall in right field. As it is now time to celebrate the seniors here on senior night for the Lopes. Sierra Smith, Shea Smith, Maddie Dowdle, and Taylor Kay set to be honored here, so stick around for that ceremony here as the Lopes just fall short. Montana, 6-2 loss here tonight, and they now trail by 2 games in the WAC division heading into Kansas City this week.
Yeah, this is definitely not how the 4 seniors on the softball team wanted to end their season, but regardless of tonight's game, these 4 ladies have been so successful throughout their entire 4 years here and have made such an impact to the entire GCU softball program. They're definitely very irreplaceable, and Coach Pearson's definitely going to have a hard time trying to find 4 new girls to take their spots.
And we talk about those 4 seniors, Sierra and Shea Smith, going to be honored here in just a matter of moments. Both of them graduating from Verrado High School right here in Glendale, Arizona. Sierra Smith finishing up with a very impressive .564 batting average in high school with an OPS of 1.463 during a 128-game varsity career. And then came here her freshman year, 2016, we mentioned earlier, played in all 50 games for the Lopes, had a .311 batting average, picked up 6 home runs, 39 runs batted in. And as she entered her sophomore year in 2017, earned an all-WAC first-team honors and played and started in all 54 games for the Lopes that season and ranked second on the team in batting average with a .349 average, hits with 58 hits, second in the team in runs with 37, and 3 triples on the season as well. That ranked second in the team that year. And then in her junior year, earned second team all-region honors in the Western region. Once again, named to the all-WAC tournament team. Led the Lopes with a .392 batting average with 76 hits. Picked up 50 RBIs last season. And again, this season not over yet. But Sierra Smith hitting .322, has 5 home runs on the year. We saw that mammoth 2-run shot last night. As Sierra Smith, the third baseman for the Lopes, not to mention that defense as well, has been spectacular these last 4 seasons. Definitely going out on a high note, and her sister Shay as well. Hit above 500 each season at the varsity level at Corrado High School in Glendale. 567 career average. As she came into her freshman year, named to the All-WAC second team as a freshman. Also played in all 50 games, had a 377 batting average after recording 63 hits in 167 at-bats, had 14 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, and 29 runs batted in, and scored 45 runs, which was second best on the team in that 2016 season for Coach Pearson. And in 2017, her sophomore year, came back, earned an all-WAC second team honors as well, led the team with a 364 average and a team-leading 60 hits that year as well, ranked third on the team in doubles with 11. Had 36 runs scored, played and started in all 54 games, just like her sister in each of the first 2 seasons, and came back in that 2018 season as a junior, played and started in all 59 games like you would expect, and had a batting average of 335, picked up 35 runs batted in, led the team with 40 runs scored during the season, 21 walks, and had an on-base percentage of .399, picked up 9 doubles, 3 triples, and 2 home runs on the season, and we saw it this weekend alone against Seattle. Tremendous defense by Shay Smith, maintaining shortstop these past 4 years for the Lopes. Coach Pearson on the Lopes definitely going to miss the Smith sisters this year. And Maddie Dowdle, you saw her in center field tonight. As a freshman in 2016, played in 48 of the 50 games during the season out there in left field, hit .331, scored 27 runs, and picked up 38 RBIs, had a fielding percentage of .951, a stellar defender out there in left and center field for the Lopes. Came back her sophomore year, had a bit of a setback her sophomore year, only played in 31 games, had a .250 average with 9 RBIs, scored 13 runs, but came back her junior year, hit .258, picked up 7 doubles, 4 home runs, and 21 runs batted in on the season, as she scored 24 runs on the year, had no errors in the outfield that year, as she came in tonight with a .279 average again, looking to get that average over .280 going into the final 3 games in Kansas City against the Roos. And you can't forget about Taylor Kay as well. Did not get an at-bat here this weekend, but graduated from Mountain Ridge High School, played in 110 games and finished with a career .425 average in high school, scored 157 runs and drove in 57 runs while producing 25 extra base hits, including 9 triples, which is not an easy thing to do. Coming in to her freshman year in 2016, only started 14 games, but did play in 35 of those games during the course of the season. Had an average of .308 with 8 hits and 26 at-bats, scored 10 runs after being used as a pinch runner quite frequently that season. Great speed for Taylor Kay, as you saw during the course of this season. She came back in her sophomore year in 2017, appeared in 38 games, 22 starts for the Lopes, had a .217 average with 10 hits. And then in her junior year, completed in all 59 games for the Lopes, starting 56 games in right field, 3 in center, had an average of .293, picking up 41 hits on the year, and tallied an extra base hit with 27 runs scored, had a team best 6 sacrifice hits, which is key if you want to win ball games and score runs. So these 4 seniors about to be honored here tonight. Just a pretty impressive stat line for all 4 of these ladies for the Lopes.
And I had a chance to catch up with Sierra and Shay at the Lopies this year, and they told me that it has truly just been so memorable to be able to play here at GCU with their siblings together. It's been an experience like no other for them.
So as we get ready for the festivities to start here in Phoenix, remember to stay tuned here on GCU TV as these 4 women are set to be honored here on the field in just a matter of moments. And before these festivities get underway, as you can see all the Lopes out on the field, take a quick break here at GCU TV before the festivities get underway. So stay tuned as these 4 ladies get honored here on GCU TV.
I'm Brittany, and this is Ask GCU. Hi, I'm Brittany Holwyn, and you should watch Ask GCU,
where we answer your questions every week.
And the points don't matter. Wait, what?
Tune in every week for answers to be questioned.
Where we answer your questions in a common... all right.
I'm a professional manager!
Tweet hashtag AskGCU to get your question featured.
Back here on GCU TV. So the Lopes dropping to Seattle by a final score of 6-2. Remember to stay right here as we're about to honor Sierra Smith, Shay Smith, Maddie Dowdle, and Taylor Kay here on senior night as they have played their final regular season home game here at GCU Softball Stadium, as we will send things down to the field for the festivities.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we honor 4 graduating seniors of the GCU softball program. To kick things off, we'll start with a few words from Coach Ann Pearson. She writes, "This is a very special class. They have been huge contributors on the field, in the classroom, and in the GCU community. These 4 young ladies not only committed to the GCU softball family, they have made it even stronger." Our first senior is number 4, Maddie Dowdle. A senior outfielder from Tucson, Arizona, Maddie has played in 184 games for the Lopes, starting 168 in the outfield. Dowdle has a career batting average of .285 with 133 hits, 23 doubles, 1 triple, and
so
12
as Maddie Dowdle
home
gets
runs.
celebrated down there on
She
the
has
field, we just mentioned her
batted in
stats.
84 runs, scored
Played and
7
started in 48 of 50 games in left field her freshman year. Currently hitting .279 for the Lopes her senior year. As she came back her sophomore year, played in 31 games, started in 17 of those games, picked up 9 RBIs, 13 runs scored, and came back her junior year, starting 58 games for the Lopes in left field. Hit .258, picked up 7 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, and 21 RBIs, scored 24 runs on the year, had 0 errors, in left field as she celebrates on the field with her jersey as well as the rest of her family right in front of the circle.
Maddie graduated with a degree in biology on Thursday.
Maddie is a bio major with pre-physical therapy, and she did just win a $10,000 scholarship for graduate school, which she's going to pursue physical therapy.
Fans, let's hear it for Maddie Dowler. It's time for TK, number 20, Taylor Kay.
So Taylor Kay being honored on the field right after Maddie Dowdle here. You mentioned her stats at Mountain Ridge High School, finishing with a 425 average that year, scored 157 runs and drove in 57 while picking up 25 extra base hits. That led her high school her senior year. Added 22 stolen bases and 30 attempts during her 4-year career at Mountain Ridge as well. She came here as a freshman, played in 14 games in 2016, hit .308, picked up 8 hits and 26 at-bats, had 1 extra base hit, another triple as well, 2 RBIs, scored 10 runs after being used as a pinch runner quite frequently by Coach Pearson her freshman year. Great speed on the base paths like we've seen all season long. Hit .217 her sophomore year, 10 hits and 46 at-bats, had 2 RBIs, 15 runs scored, and came back her junior year in 2018 and played in all 59 games for the Lopes, starting 56 in right field and 3 in center field, and held a batting average of .293 with 41 hits. Picked up 1 double on the year, 27 runs scored, had a team best 6 sacrifice hits. She gets honored on the field here with her parents as well as the rest of her family here.
Fans, I'm sure it's no surprise to everyone here. Our final 2 seniors will be honored together. A senior shortstop from Waddell, Arizona, Shay Smith has played and started in all 211 games of her 4-year career at GCU. Smith holds a career batting average of .364, which ranks 9th in GCU history. She led the Lopes in batting average as a sophomore and currently leads the team this season. She's tallied 246 hits, ranked 5th in GCU history, and 43 doubles, which ranks 4th all-time. She has 6 career triples and 11 home runs while tallying 114 RBI and 163 runs, which ranks 6th and 3rd in Lopes program history, respectively. Shay is a 2-time second-team All-WAC selection as well. A senior third baseman from Waddell, Arizona, Sierra Smith has played and started in all 211 games of her career at GCU. The batting average leader for the Lopes as a freshman and junior, Sierra holds a career clip of .347, which ranks 10th in GCU program history. Sierra has tallied a 7th all-time best, 236 hits and 30 doubles, while adding a 2nd-time all-best 13 triples and 20 home runs, which ranks 7th all-time for the Lopes through 4 years at GCU. She's racked up 137 RBI, which is 5th, and scored 145 runs to rank 7th all-time.
So as you listen in here, the Smith sisters definitely going to be missed on that left side of the infield at short and third. Tremendous defense all around for both Shay and Sierra. Third place, not an easy position to play if you're Sierra Smith. As we've seen tonight, a few rockets hit down the third base line she was able to handle, as well as Shay Smith making a tremendous play in last night's game to end Game 1. Making a sliding grab down the left field line in foul territory to complete that complete game for Ryan Denhart. And they've mentioned the stats here for Shay Smith, named to the All-WAC second team as a freshman, earned All-WAC second team honors as a sophomore, and held a batting average of .335 her junior year as well. Sierra coming in as a freshman, both graduates from Verado High School right here in Glendale, as you can see, celebrating with their family on the field right now. Shay playing in all 50 games, as well as Sierra as freshmen.
Shay and Sierra Smith. And now, fans, one big round of applause for all 4 of our 2019 senior class. Congratulations, ladies.
So as we finish senior night with the Smith sisters, Maddie Daddle and Taylor Kay, being celebrated here on the field, as we list all of their accolades over these past 4 years, definitely going to be missed by Coach Pearson and the Lopes, as a big chunk of that left side of the infield as well as the outfield with Maddie Daddle leaving us this year. Still 3 more games left to be played in the regular season against Kansas City next week as we kick off the WAC tournament on May 8th. The final score in this one, Seattle picking up a 6-2 win over the Lopes. Be sure to follow Grand Canyon University on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GCU. From everybody here at GCU TV alongside Montana Lambden, I'm Jack O'Hara saying thanks for tuning in all season long here on GCU TV. Have a great rest of your Saturday night, and as always, go Lopes.